Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty significant. It's not just a tech launch.
No, not at all.
We're really dissecting what the sources are calling a whole system: philosophical, financial, even spiritual.
Right. Designed, they say, to completely rewrite digital entrepreneurship.
We've got these excerpts detailing this hashtag Victory with Ash ecosystem. It's Ash Mufera's initiative within OnPassive.
And the framing is key here. They're very clear. This isn't just an update.
No, they call it a roadmap to a totally new kind of digital freedom.
That's a huge claim, and it really sets the tone in all the source material we reviewed. It positions this as way bigger than your standard business rollout.
So our mission today is basically to unpack that mix, isn't it?
Exactly. The tech, the AI, the learning component, the earning potential.
And that underlying philosophy, the spiritual angle, which you don't often see.
Definitely not in this kind of detail. It's quite unique.
So for you listening, our goal is to get past the buzzwords. We want to understand the actual operational reality here.
What does it really mean when they say you're a student of success and a master of freedom in this system?
Yeah, how does that work? Especially when learning isn't just suggested, it's, well, required, mandated,
And directly tied to earning.
quantified.
Okay, let's dive in. We should start with the foundations, the core philosophy driving it all.
Absolutely. Let's call this section 1. The core philosophy, learning to earn. And the language used in the sources, it's maximalist. Very intentional.
How so?
Well, they stress this isn't just tweaking the old system. They use phrases like complete transformation.
Right, and a new system, a living network.
Yes, that phrase, living network.
What do you think that implies? Architecturally speaking, it sounds dynamic, not static software.
It suggests something more, doesn't it? Maybe autonomy, intelligence built in, self-optimization.
Like it learns and adapts.
Potentially.
Yeah.
A network driven by AI that adjusts based on how founders are interacting with it. Maybe even scaling itself, healing itself without needing constant human tinkering.
So the network itself is almost an intelligent partner. That seems to be the implication. Learning alongside the users, fulfilling that big vision Ash Mufera set out, which the sources say has, quote, never dimmed.
Okay, and that vision seems very tied to the founder's mindset. There's that quote repeated quite a bit.
Success is not for the few, it is for the prepared.
Exactly. And the sources position the system as the platform for that preparation. It enforces it, measures it.
Which totally reframes how you engage, right? Normally, preparation is personal, abstract.
You do it on your own time.
Right. But here, it's digitized. It's mandatory. The system itself molds your mindset before you even really get to the earning part.
So it's like a gatekeeper, ensuring only the committed, the prepared, can unlock the automated earning down the line.
Seems like it. It ensures you've done the work, the learning first.
And they take it even further. They call the system a school of greatness. That's a pretty grand title. What are people actually learning in this school?
It seems focused on ownership and leverage, not just using the tech.
So not just how to click buttons in an app?
No, deeper than that. The goal is teaching founders how to, and I'm quoting again, own, leverage, and profit from the whole ecosystem.
That does elevate the role, doesn't it? From just a user to someone who understands and potentially masters their digital environment.
They're taught the mechanics, the underlying logic, not just the surface level stuff.
That's a big conceptual leap. Shifting from consumer to, well, architect of your own digital destiny, maybe.
That seems to be the idea.
And that leads us right into the core exchange. Learning the system, earning the freedom.
Or even more punchy, learning equals earning.
Okay, this is the central engine we need to understand. If learning directly equals earning, how? How is that measured?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because usually you learn, then you apply that learning, and then maybe you earn something.
Right, there are steps.
But here, the sources imply the learning itself generates value. The system must have ways to track engagement, knowledge tests, maybe even time spent in modules.
And translate that activity into actual financial metrics or unlock specific opportunities.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It has to quantify the learning process itself.
What about getting into this school? What are the prerequisites? The sources seem surprisingly open about this.
Yeah, they explicitly dismiss traditional degrees or credentials.
So no diplomas needed.
Apparently not. The key requirement mentioned is determination, sheer will,
Okay, determination.
and understanding. The system demands you understand it, not just chase results blindly.
That sets it apart from a lot of online ventures where it's often about frantic activity.
Exactly. It shifts the focus inward. Internal drive, deep comprehension of how it all works. That's what they seem to value.
And the payoff for that internal drive, that understanding, it sounds huge.
The promise is that once you achieve that mastery, the system works for you, day and night.
Ah, the lure of automation, perpetual success driven by AI.
It connects right back to the preparation idea. You front-load the hard work, the determined learning.
Your human intelligence activates the system's artificial intelligence.
And then, theoretically, you get the freedom promised while the network handles the ongoing execution.
Okay, that really sets the stage. So let's move from philosophy to function. Section 2. System mechanics and the AI advantage.
Right. If this is a living network, what are the actual bits and pieces, the architecture that makes this learning-to-earning thing happen?
What are the components?
The sources outline a blend. 4 main interacting parts, it seems.
Okay, what are they?
Specific AI learning modules first. Then, structured mentorship pathways. Third, automated earning tools. And finally, a transparent rewards engine.
And these all work together, seamlessly.
That's the goal described, a friction-free integration where they all feed into each other constantly.
The learning path structure seems critical here, making sure that determination gets channeled correctly. What about these simple guided lessons? How operational are they?
Very operational, based on the descriptions. This is where the system enforces the required understanding. The lessons aren't abstract theory.
They're practical.
Yes, like precisely how to activate your account correctly, how to manage it efficiently, optimizing the human interaction right from the start.
And it goes beyond just basic account setup, right? Into the financials.
Absolutely. You have to master understanding commissions. You need to know the exact flow within the wallet, the precise steps for withdrawals.
So core financial literacy within their system.
But it's also about generating business. The path explicitly teaches how to invite and nurture new users.
Ah, so individual learning is directly linked to network growth.
Seems that way. And maybe the most critical piece is learning how to track everything.
Tracking progress.
Yes, the lessons require founders learn to use the internal tools to track growth, data, and digital progress in real time.
So you're not passive, you're actively engaging with the metrics, the system's performance data.
You have to be. And the system makes sure this isn't just homework. It's incentivized.
How so?
The sources say it repeatedly. The ecosystem rewards engagement and mastery.
Like direct rewards for learning.
Yes, the quote is very direct. Every lesson completed, every milestone achieved, and every action taken with consistency will lead to growth, both personally and financially.
Wow. Okay, so learning isn't a cost. It's literally a profit center within this model. The learning module itself is a pathway to revenue.
That's the core assertion.
Now let's look at the engine driving this.
Yeah.
The AI integration. They call it a merger of AI and human vision. This is the tech that supposedly turns preparation into freedom.
That's the claim. The AI is meant to simplify all the complex stuff, acting as the system's brain. To really see it, we need to look at the specific on-passive tools integrated here.
The tools the founder has to learn and master.
Exactly. These are the software mechanisms.
Okay, let's run through them. First up, trust and security. O-Verify.
Crucial. This is for secure and quick verification. It suggests a strong identity layer.
Which you'd absolutely need for automated global payments.
Non-negotiable. For fairness, compliance, everything. Especially with potentially millions of users.
Then the financial heart. O-Wallet. This is the earning gateway.
Right. It's the integrated digital banking piece, instant transactions. And critically, it's where the automated commission tracking happens.
That real-time visibility is key for the transparency they promise.
Absolutely. It removes ambiguity.
Okay, next, measuring progress. O-Tracker. This sounds like more than just a basic dashboard.
It has to be right. Real-time growth analytics. But think about it. To enforce the learning mandate, O-Tracker needs to monitor specific behaviors.
Like what? Lesson completion, engagement levels.
Exactly. Completion rates, community interaction, maybe even how effective your invitations are. And because the network is living.
The AI uses that tracker data.
Plausibly, yes. To personalize the learning. If O-Tracker sees you're struggling with, say, nurturing new users, the AI might assign you specific lessons on that topic.
Ah, so the data doesn't just inform the user, it informs the AI teacher.
That makes the living network idea much more tangible. The data actively shapes the educational journey.
Interesting. Okay, what else? O-Domain, identity.
Yeah, for brand identity and digital ownership. This lets founders build their professional presence within the on-passive world. using the tech to create a verified footprint.
Makes sense. And finally, the communication tools.
The communication suite: ONet, OPeer, OPal, and OConnect.
This is the glue holding the community together.
Pretty much. For general communication, networking, collaboration, video meetings, it ensures founders can support each other, share tips, build that community cohesion they emphasize.
So putting it all together, the tools are the classroom.
And mastery is measured by OTracker.
And rewarded via OWallet.
That's the loop.
Yeah.
The sources state it clearly. As you use the tools, you learn the ecosystem. As you master the ecosystem, you earn the results.
It's a tight feedback mechanism. Which leads us nicely into Section 3, the financial and earning model. The philosophy has to shape the outcome here.
And the system actively defines itself against the typical get-rich-quick mentality.
That contrast seems really important to them.
It's foundational to the whole ethical frame they're building. They explicitly say it's not a get-rich-quick scheme,
But
a get-wise-and-grow system.
Okay, get wise and grow. What does that mean practically? It manages expectations.
Exactly. Shifts the focus from instant cash to long-term sustainable wealth building. Patience is required.
Ash Mufara's focus is on real wealth. How do they define that, especially when they're also providing automated income tools?
Real wealth, according to these sources, rests on 3 legs: understanding, patience, and purpose.
Understanding the system, patience for results.
And aligning your efforts with a bigger ethical purpose. It elevates making money into something more meaningful.
Which brings us to that idea of money as a reward for impact. Financial success has to align with service, contribution, but how do you measure impact in an automated system?
That is the critical question for the AI governance, isn't it? If growth aligns with service, the AI, probably using OTracker data, must quantify that contribution.
How? Maybe successful mentoring, active help in the community forums, ethically bringing in new users who also commit to learning.
Those seem like plausible metrics. The goal is to demonstrate to founders firsthand how their positive actions strengthen the whole community's earning power. They mention collective earnings strengthens community power.
And integrity is the cornerstone for lasting success, they say. How does an AI system enforce integrity?
It has to be built into the rules, the operational logic, while they don't spell out the exact governance mechanisms.
The implication is that things like O-Verify and the transparency from OTracker and OWallet act as checks and balances.
Exactly. Deterrence against cutting corners or unethical behavior. Ensuring the wealth generated is sustainable and purposeful, not just quick, potentially shady profits.
Okay, let's switch to the operational side. Once you've done the learning, achieved mastery, how does the earning model become simple, as promised?
Through automation and transparency, mainly. Once it's fully active, your manual input should be minimal.
So OWallet shows commissions instantly.
Right. Real-time clarity. No waiting weeks for reports, no guesswork. Takes away the admin headache.
And the actual money distribution sounds complex behind the scenes.
It's described as fully automated, powered by verified AI transactions.
Verified AI transactions. What does that suggest, technically? Blockchain. Some kind of secure ledger.
It could be.
Yeah.
Verified definitely implies a high level of security, auditability, maybe cryptographic assurance for every single transaction. You'd need that for global commissions at scale to maintain trust.
And the founder sees all this. How? Through their dashboard.
That dashboard is key. The nerve center. It shows your personal performance, your team's growth, all in real time.
Constantly linking actions to results.
Yes, but it also links learning progress directly to earning potential through what they call smart learning milestones.
Tell me more about those. How are they smart?
They seem to be specific knowledge or skill checkpoints within the learning path. And when you complete one, prove you've mastered that part. It specifically unlocks additional earning opportunities, maybe higher commission rates, access to new modules, something like that.
Ah, so that's the literal learning equals earning mechanism in action. The curriculum itself holds the keys to the cash register.
That appears to be the practical implementation, yes.
And the system promises to be consistent, reliable.
The assurance given is that the whole process will be transparent, fair, and intelligent. It suggests a very stable, predictable infrastructure.
Growth for everyone who stays active, keeps learning, follows the steps.
That's the promise, with the AI acting as the guarantor of that fairness and consistency.
This blend, the tech, the mandatory learning, the ethical finance, it leads into the final, maybe most distinctive part. Section 4, community, unity, and spiritual purpose.
This is where hashtag Victory with Ash really departs from standard business models, isn't it?
It seems so. They frame it as a collective movement, not a solo gig at all.
Building a global family is explicitly stated as an objective. That unity isn't just nice to have, it's presented as fundamental to the system's success.
And founders have this dual role, student and teacher.
Yes, which creates this self-perpetuating knowledge loop. As soon as you master something.
You're expected to share it, help others catch up.
Exactly. The mantra is clear. As you grow, you share. As you earn, you lift others.
So your individual financial success is structurally linked to helping the community succeed.
It's woven into the fabric of the system, it seems.
And the support isn't just informal. There are ongoing activities.
Q&A sessions, live mentorships, training calls. But notice the framing.
They call them celebrations of progress, not just meetings.
Right, which is a fascinating psychological approach. It tries to elevate the mood beyond a typical corporate webinar. Inject hope, joy, shared purpose.
Reinforcing that global family vibe and maybe helping people through the tough parts of learning complex stuff.
It builds emotional and spiritual bonds, strengthening commitment.
Which brings us squarely to the most unique element. The explicit spiritual language woven into an AI tech business.
The talk of spiritual energy and divine rhythm.
Yeah. Behind the whole venture. What do we make of that?
It's the most abstract part, but maybe the most foundational to their narrative. The claim is the mission is guided by higher principles: faith, compassion, love for humanity.
So the tech serves a divine purpose.
That's the assertion, that behind the code there's a divine rhythm. It positions the system as fulfilling a kind of destiny, not just filling a market gap.
How does belief in divine timing fit with, project deadlines and predictable business operations? Founders need predictability.
It seems to function as a framework for interpreting challenges, especially delays or setbacks.
Reframing difficulties.
Exactly. The sources use this spiritual lens to redefine past struggles. They weren't engineering failures or planning mistakes.
They were intentional steps, part of a larger plan.
That's the narrative. The specific quotes are quite powerful. Every delay was preparation. Every test was training. Every trial was transformation.
That's a very potent way to build resilience in a community, isn't it?
Absolutely. It binds people together, instills faith that difficulties serve a predetermined higher purpose. It keeps people committed during potentially long waits or periods of intense learning.
And ultimately, this belief system connects the overall vision to that divine timing, making the hashtag more than just branding.
Hashtag Victory with Ash becomes, in their words, a prophecy of empowerment.
Prophecy, wow.
Yeah, a promise of restoration. Positioning the system as the definitive intended bridge between human potential and automated technology. It gives the whole thing a sense of historical weight, inevitability.
And that explains the intense anticipation described in the sources. The countdown isn't just for a product launch.
No, it's framed as a countdown to a legacy.
A legacy that will rewrite digital entrepreneurship forever.
And that countdown is fueled by excitement, anticipation, and faith. It's emotional high stakes. And practically, that anticipation keeps the community engaged, studying, preparing.
Because they believe they're on the cusp of something huge, divinely timed, world-changing.
Precisely.
Okay, let's try to pull all these threads together. Time for a summary of this deep dive. What are the absolute key takeaways for you, the listener?
I think the most critical takeaway is that potent mix. Mandated, measured education fused with fully automated earning.
It's not optional homework. Your financial success is structurally blocked unless you deeply engage with and master the learning path. It enforces that prepared mind idea.
And that learning happens through the integrated suite of AI tools.
Right. O-Verify, O-Wallet, O-Tracker, O-Domain, the communication suite. They aren't just features.
They are the curriculum and
Yeah.
the earning mechanism. Mastering the ecosystem means mastering those tools.
And finally, the most distinctive aspect, weaving these high-tech business metrics together with a very strong ethical and, frankly, spiritual philosophy.
The sources claim this ensures the wealth created is purposeful, sustainable, built on integrity and community upliftment. It aims beyond just making money towards a kind of collective ethical transformation online.
The sources wrap up with a very clear call to action for founders, reinforcing that core idea one last time.
Revisit your training. Engage with your OES dashboard. Strengthen your understanding.
Because learning today is earning tomorrow in this specific model.
It really crystallizes the whole thing. Automation is promised, but the initial intellectual and commitment burden on the human is absolute.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to chew on. The sources claim the biggest victory isn't just making the money, but understanding the system that makes it. That really changes how we value knowledge in business, doesn't it?
It raises a fascinating, very modern question. Given the incredible claims about this system's intelligence and automation, how necessary or even viable is it for such a complex AI-driven business to require not just tech training, but also explicit buy-in to shared ethical and spiritual guidelines to achieve that promised long-term success?
Does success in the age of AI require more than just technical skill? Does it demand a kind of spiritual alignment too?
It's a unique fusion of faith and algorithms. Definitely something to watch and consider as this hashtag Victory with Ash ecosystem continues to develop.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're really digging into something quite significant. We've got a whole set of materials here detailing this global movement led by CEO Ash Mufareh. We're looking at documents about the unpassive revolution, as they call it, and all the energy around that hashtag Victory with Ash. So our mission today is pretty specific. These documents, they're full of big claims, a lot of unique jargon. We need to kind of filter through it all. Quickly pull out the core philosophy, understand the actual tech mechanisms they're talking about, and maybe most importantly, translate the human side of this. This digital transformation they're promising, make it understandable. We want to get a handle on what the authors believe is happening and what this future, they keep mentioning, well, what it actually looks like according to them. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right. And the material sets that stage right away. It makes it clear this isn't, your standard corporate launch. The sources frame this as a collection of distinct new trends being set by Ash Mufareh. And the goal, total transformation, is very clear. It's about reshaping systems, people, and maybe the biggest piece, mindsets. It's presented almost as a moral alternative to how the digital world works now.
That phrase, moral alternative, that really jumps out. It goes straight to the core philosophy, doesn't it? I mean, the sources make this incredibly grand claim. They call the movement the heartbeat of a new digital revolution where, and this is a quote, technology meets humanity. That's a bold statement.
It absolutely is. And when you look closely at the visionary mindset described in these papers, the main driver seems to be empowerment and also this idea of contribution. They explicitly reject competition as the main force. The suggestion is that, old digital models thrive on people competing, whereas this one is supposedly designed for like positive loops and lifting everyone up together. What's fascinating here is just how absolute that goal sounds. The sources literally state the mission is profound, moving every single founder, every affiliate, every dreamer from mere survival to complete abundance. It's a vision built on this idea that success, well, it has to be universally achievable within their ecosystem.
Complete abundance, that's the phrase. But that seems to really rely on artificial intelligence. The source says this is where the era of guesswork is over. But hang on, if AI automates everything, what are the people actually doing?
That's a key point. The document suggests the AI has sort of a two-part role. First, yes, it automates the necessary business stuff, the background functions. But second, and this is crucial, it's meant to empower individuals to learn how to create wealth ethically and intelligently. So the AI isn't just doing the work, it's also acting as a kind of advanced teacher, a guide. It's supposed to be an intellectual tool to help people scale up their own wealth creation abilities.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because now we're moving from the why to the how. Big claims need big tools, right? The sources keep hammering this promise of total simplicity and powerful automation, getting rid of the need for, juggling dozens of different apps and platforms.
Exactly. That seems to be the functional core centralization. The sources go into detail about creating this unified on-passive dashboard. It's presented as the one single entry point, the gateway. They claim it's going to integrate, well, basically everything. Communication, marketing, finance, learning, even entertainment, all into one intelligent system. The stated aim is to make running what could be a complex global digital presence feel simple, no matter how much is going on behind the curtain.
Right. So if that dashboard is the command center for everything, then the financial side, that has to be the real hook, doesn't it? The sources talk a lot about financial freedom reimagined. How exactly do they define that freedom? And more importantly, how do they claim this system delivers it?
Well, they define it mostly by independence and sustainability. The system is apparently designed to cut out the dependency on, as they put it, unstable markets or middlemen. The idea presented is that earnings are direct, they're automated, and they rely on what's called a fair distribution model, which is itself managed by this intelligent system. The key concept seems to be a kind of self-powering flow.
Okay, and this is where we hate that specific jargon again. You need to help us unpack this for the listener. We see names like O-Wallet, O-Shop, O-Connect. What roles do the sources say these specific tools play in that financial setup?
Think of them as the circulatory system for this sustainable circular economy they describe. So O-Connect, for instance, that's their secure platform for video calls, webinars, that sort of thing. O-Shop is their e-commerce piece. And O-Wallet, that's the smart digital wallet. The sources claim that by channeling transactions through these internal tools, the value stays inside the ecosystem. It supposedly cycles back to the founders, creating this continuous loop.
They're continuous loop.
Okay, if we connect this to the bigger picture.
Hmm.
Yeah. The circular economy idea basically claims that revenue generated anywhere in the OES, the on-passive ecosystem, gets redistributed across the founder base. This ensures, according to them, that success flows in cycles. That's supposed to be the mechanism driving automated earnings for everyone involved.
Okay, that clarifies the claimed function. But it leads us straight into the next big area, the human element. You know, for a system supposedly built on ethical wealth and contribution, these sources spend a lot of time talking about education. They call the training the soul of the new ecosystem. But if the AI is handling the intelligent wealth creation, why is training so central? What are founders actually learning to do?
This is what they term the education revolution trend. And it really does focus heavily on AI-guided learning. But the goal isn't just, teaching people which buttons to press. It's more ambitious. The sources insist founders will learn how to think like creators, to innovate, inspire, and generate impact. The idea is they become digital ambassadors, people who really understand the philosophy and the practice of this whole system.
So more than just users, they're meant to be advocates and innovators within it.
Exactly. And to do that, they need to master the tools. The documents list proficiency requirements for a whole suite of OS services.